Hello students. Today we are going to discuss budgeting process. Okay, like how budgeting works, the agenda of the today discussion, the expected accomplishment after successful completion of this session. You would be able to understand the definition of budget, what are the objectives of budgeting, what is budgetary control cycle, uh, short-run budgets versus long-run budgets, imposed versus participatory budgets, budgetary slack and goal congruence, time frame for budget preparations, and principles to develop a good budget. So these are the areas which students would be able to understand after successful full completion of this session. Okay, so what is budget? Definition of budget. Budget is a financial and quantitative statements. These are two important words. Financial and quantitative statements. It means budget deals with numbers. And it deals with monetary figures prepared and approved. So there is a need of approval of the figures which you have prepared prior to the defined period of time. So for the time period for which you are preparing your budget, you need to prepare it before that time period and you need to approve that before that time period. Of the policy to be pursued during that period for the purpose of attaining a given objective. So you want to achieve some objectives from by pursuing that budget in that particular time period. You want to accomplish certain objectives. So budgets may include incomes related details, expenditures, and induction of capital. So in your budgets, you may have to discuss about your incomes, expenditures, and capital's induction. So the thing, what I would like to sum up, that budget is a quantitative measure which gives you the guidelines to pursue your strategy, to accomplish your objective for a future time period, and it is prepared and approved before that time period for which you have budget. Objectives of budget. First objective is it works as a planning tool. So budget provides you a detailed plan of action for a business over a defined period, definite period of time, which I have discussed that budget is prepared for a future time period. So budget gives you the course of action, the plan, what to do in that particular time period. So budget is always time bounded. These detailed plans related to the units of the production and production related other items, sales, raw materials, requirements, labor needs, advertising and sales promotion performance needs, research and development, and capital additions, etc. So budget is giving you the complete picture about so many subsections of your organization's workings, like about productions, about sales, research material. So what the benefit you may get by having a proper plans? By planning, many problems are anticipated long before they arise, and you have already sorted out the solutions through careful studies. Through planning, you are forecasting, you are anticipating what will happen in future. So if you are facing any problem, you have already planned how to sort out that problem. So in that case, you may be able to avoid lot of business emergencies. But again, I would like to refer you to the current situation about uh, COVID-19. Like sometimes you may face some unexpected events, and maybe the things which you have already planned will not work according to that plan. But definitely, by having a proper plans, you are capable enough to sort out so many problems which you are anticipating at this point of time for future point of time. Okay, so by having budgets, management is capable to think forward. You are thinking about the future time period. What are the possibilities? For instance, as I referred you earlier about current situation of COVID-19, maybe the person who is preparing the budgets for in the future time periods will consider such like contingencies, like if like any other global pandemic will occur in future, how you would be able to cope with that. So through plannings, you are forward looking, you are thinking beyond the curtains, you are thinking about your future. Okay, so this is the first benefit of the budgets, that you have detailed plans for your future. Next thing, it increases coordination. So budget aids managers in coordinating their efforts to accomplish the overall objectives of the organization. It will harmonize with the objectives of its departments. So this is called actually goal congruence, which we will discuss later on, that the objectives of individual departments and objectives of whole organization are on same page. Okay, so if you have proper plan, there is a possibility that you may have better coordination. Like through budget preparations, how the coordination between different departments works. For example, if you want to make a budget for your sales, you may need have a coordination with your production departments, that how many units production department is capable to produce in that accounting period. So by having that coordination, by having that information, you would be able to construct uh, accurate your sales budget. Similarly, like there is another example, production department will coordinate with purchase department, that how much raw material purchase department can buy during the time period to produce the certain number of units. So this is just as an example. So there is a possibility that by having a proper budget, you would be able to coordinate the things between different departments, which will harmonize which will bring on a same level the objectives of individual departments and the objective of the whole organization. There would be no conflict of interest. Goal congruence will be achieved. Then communication. Budget is a device of communication. So to prepare a budget, you need to get the knowledge, get the information from different departments and different personalities at different hierarchy levels. You may have to get some information from operational level worker. You may have to get some information from strategic level management. You may have to get some information from your tactical level managers. So in that way, there is a proper communication. So budget works as a tool of communication. Okay. One thing is very important. It's not only about the budget preparation process, which facilitates communications between different levels, hierarchies, and different departments and different individuals, but there are other vital informations which you are communicating to prepare your budgets through budget manuals, and you are getting the participation of different persons who are responsible to prepare the budget. So at that time, you are also communicating with each other. Even though once budget will be prepared, you are sharing your budget document to different departments. At that time also there is a communication between different departments. So budget works as a tool of communication, even though during the process of preparation of budget, before that process, during the time period of exchanging of information, and once budget is prepared, you are again communicating with other departments, individuals at different levels and hierarchies. Motivations. Like the people, those are involved in the budgeting process, we will discuss later on who are the people, those are involved in budgeting processes. If I would like to explain this with one example. If I'm taking the responsibility, I am preparing the budget. So it is a motivating factor for me that I have took this responsibility. There is a sales budget of, we will sell in next accounting period 10,000 units of the product, and I have prepared that budget. So there is a sense of motivation for me to accomplish that objective. Okay, so it is a motivating device for different individuals. If individuals have actively participated in the preparation of the budget, there is a strong motivation force for them, because they have established the targets. So they will always strive to achieve those targets. But even though you are not involved in the process of budget preparation, still budget is working as motivating tool for the others, because now they have a target what they want to achieve. Control. Once actual time period occurs, and during that time period, you can compare your actual performance with your plans, with your budgets, whether it is achieved or not. So in that case, budget is working as being a control tool, like the plans and actual performance. So from that, actual performance, when you are comparing with your plans, if there is any difference, you can take corrective actions. Those corrective actions could be in two ways. One possibility is that there is a deficiency in your actual performance. So in next accounting time period, you will try to improve your actual performance. But there is a possibility that you may have set wrong budget. So in that case, in next time period, you will change your budget. Okay, so it works as being a control tool. It works as a performance evaluation measure for an individual. Now, what is the difference between controlling and performance evaluation? Performance evaluation for the individuals, like the people, those are achieving their budgeted targets, they will get the promotions and some rewards, etc., etc. So the normal practice is, most of the cases, the reward incentives for your employees are associated with how much they have achieved their budget targets, and their promotions are also linked with that. So performance evaluation is for individuals, for human capital. So if, for your human capital, you will evaluate whether they have accomplished the targets those were set in budgets or not. If those are accomplished, then they will get their rewards in the forms of financial benefits as well as in the forms of promotions. What is budgetary control cycle? This is very important topic. Okay, so first of all, look, what happened? First of all, we are making long-term and short-term plans. Okay, for that purpose, there is a need of decision making. So you have set your long-term and short-term plans. Then you will implement those plans. Actual course of action happened. Then you will measure the performance, compare the actual results with your plans, and then you will evaluate your performance. What was the reasons? Now, here are two major areas in this discussion. First one is planning process. So implementation of plans and development of plan. Planning involves developing objectives and preparing various budgets to achieve those objectives. So here you set the objectives and you prepare the budgets to achieve those objectives. Then you implemented those plans, actual course of actions occurred. After that, there is a control function. What is control function? These are steps taken by management to attempt to ensure that the objectives are achieved or attained. Okay. So here you will measure the performance and evaluate the performance. We will discuss these two things later on. How budgets works? So first of all, you will initiate the plans in your budgets. Okay. Then what happened? Through the budgets, you have initiated the plans and then you have implemented that plan when the actual course of action happened. Then what you did, you will gauge the actual performance. Now actual course of actions happened and you will measure that performance by comparing it with your budget according to the budgets. What were the targets in the budgets? Through actual performance you have achieved or not. Then you will get the feedback after comparing the performance. Then you will evaluate the performance. You will revise some figures after having the feedback. Now I have already discussed there are two possibilities, that there is a problem that your actual course of actions are not up to the standard, but there is also possibility that your plan was not correct. In that way, after having a feedback, after having inputs, you will revise your plans through your next budget. So this is the process. how budget works. Now, you may have two types of plans. For 1 year, it's called tactical plans. If time span is for 1 year, if it's 5 years or long-term period, more than 5 years, then it's called strategic plans. So normally when we are talking of about master budgets, we are talking about tactical plans. Master budget is about tactical plans. This is important thing. So when we are talking about master budget, which we will discuss in our next session, its time period is normally 1 year, so it is tactical plan. But sometimes you are preparing long-term budgets. We will discuss later on. So short-run versus long-run budgets, strategic plans. This is broader strategy. Overall objectives of the organizations are selected here. Then what we are going to do, it's about the whole organization, in which markets you want to exist, what are your overall objectives, what you want to achieve from your organization, what sort of the product lines you are producing, what would be the price and quality mix. This is about the pricing strategy and what technologies you are using, etc., etc. So these are all the strategic plans, which is comes through your mission, VM statements, then long-term plans, strategies you are preparing. So this is all about that discussion. From there, you will prepare your long-term budgets, which keep in mind, it does not deviate with your strategic plans. So for long-term budgets, it is more than 1 year. You are forecasting for about your assets acquisitions, like what are the long-term assets you will acquire in the future time period, financing plans, from where you will get the finances, and what sort of the research and development you will do. So all these discussions are about your long-term run budgets. But in our sessions, we will mostly focus about short-run budgets. So after that, short-run budgets, quantities to produce, quantities to sell, suppliers acquisition. So all these figures, all these things will be addressed where in your master budget, which we will discuss in our next session. Now, what are the approaches to prepare budget? One is called imposed budget and the other is called strategic level budget. You know that you are in your organization, sorry, in your organization you have 3 levels. Strategic, tactical, and operational. So strategic, tactical, and operational level people, when we are talking about imposed budget, so it is the budget which is prepared by strategic level people. But keep in mind, budget preparation is ultimate responsibility of strategic level people. But when we are talking about participatory budget, it means we are talking about that in your budget preparation process, the major input you are getting, that is from your operational level people. So these are two extreme dimensions. So on this continuum, if you are on top side, then it's called imposed budget. You are giving the orders by preparing the budget, you are asking to your lower level workers that must act upon on these targets. And in participatory budgets, you are getting the inputs from your operational level management. They are key to success. This is the key. There is a reason about this. This person is having a tie, so he is a person who is sitting in the glass room and just making the strategies over there, but he doesn't know what is the actual position for the workers, the people those are involved in the production process. So these are the key to success. These people plays a pivotal role. Under participatory budgets, ultimately approval is always given by top level management. Key to success is with workers, operational level peoples. So they have ultimate right to set the budgets. So their input is used as a key input in the budget preparation process. So they have the ultimate right. But before the final approval and implementation of budget, the strategic level people can give their comments and inputs, but ultimately the prevailing authority is of about the budget preparation is with operational level peoples. On the other side, imposed budget is prepared by strategic level people. They are just giving the orders, what you are supposed to accomplish in your next period, to the operational levels and tactical level peoples. Now, first of all, we are talking about imposed budget. It is also called top-down approach. When it is best time to use it? When your organization is a startup organization, you have new organization, at that level, strategic level people have a broader insight about what they want to achieve. So in those organizations, always use the top-down approach. Imposed budget, which is also called authoritative budget, you will use that approach. If your business is small, so there is a very, you can say like the hierarchy level is too much low, very less layers in a hierarchy of the management. So even though the top level management knows what is happening at operational level, so extremely small businesses can use this. When there is an economic crisis, in that case, strategic level people have broader vision what to achieve. Like, again, I will refer to the current situation of COVID-19. Like, this is the big challenge for the whole world after a global recession time period. Now, this is the biggest economic and social crisis right now. And in that case, the vision of the strategic level management helps to develop a good budget. When operating managers lack budgetary skills or perspectives, even though the persons who are working at operational levels, they don't have enough capabilities to prepare the budgets, in that case also the strategic level people will develop the budget. So what are the advantages you will achieve by having imposed budgets? Requires less time period, yes. The persons those are sitting at a top level, they will prepare the budget. As I discussed with you that the top level management can see behind the curtains. So you are using the knowledge of top level management, which they have about the resources availability. They are capable enough to do the SWOT and PESTEL analysis to get the picture where you are right now. So utilize by having authoritative or imposed budget policy, you would be able to utilize the top level management expertise. So strategic plans are prepared by whom? Top level management. So your budget will be aligned to your strategic plans, because the people those have developed this plan, strategic plans, they are going to develop your budget also. Disadvantages: reduce feeling of teamwork, no communication with the lower level staff. So there is a resentment. It would be a demotivating factor, not a motivating factor, because the persons those are supposed to do the actual work, they are not involved in a budgeting preparation. As I discussed, you dissatisfaction and low morals, no teamwork because there is no communication, limited acceptance of stated goals and objectives. The people, it is something which is imposed. So it is a human psyche. When there is something which is imposed, there is less acceptance about that thing. People will do some work, but with heavy heart, they will do some work because it's something which is imposed. Okay. So lower level managers may not put the efforts where what is required. Now, participatory budget. Over here, who is giving the major input? The operational level workers, who is the key to success for the business. One thing must have to remember, in organization success, human capital plays a pivotal role. Either they are working at operational level or they are working at a strategic level. So when your organization is well established, there are standard SOPs, departments, procedures, or all the things are well defined for those organizations. Participative budgets plays suitable, because over there you are getting the input of your lower level workers. Very big organizations, again, because over there the input from the lower level workers is required, because the space, the layers between the hierarchies are too much. So the strategic level people are not capable enough to understand the operational situations and the difficulties and the strengths the people those are working at operational levels those have. They are not capable enough to understand those. Then in time of economic affluence, when there is an economic boom, the things are going in a positive way. In that case, you can use the participative budgets, because then there is less deviation in your external factors. So the people, those are working at operational level, they are capable enough to understand the overall the things, how the operations are going on. When operating managers have strong budgetary skills, they are capable enough to prepare the budgets, the people who are working at operational levels. In that case, you will use participative budget. What are the advantages? Definitely advantages are bigger. Obtain information from those persons most familiar with the needs and constraints of the organization units. As I discussed with you, that these are the people, those are the key, they have pivotal role. They knows what are the actual problems organization is facing, what are the strengths organization have. So their input is too much important to get the actual picture. Definitely it will provide too much motivation and morale to the people because they are involved in the budget preparation. Once they will do the actual performance, they will strive their level best to accomplish their objectives, what they have already set it. Then integrate knowledge that is diffused among various levels of management, better communication. You will achieve too much interaction between different people, so knowledge will be integrated. That sometime you are getting something special from the people, those are even working at operational level. They're providing you very useful information, as well as there is a communication between strategic level people and operational level people. So operational level people are also getting the knowledge and expertise, those are bestowed to the higher level management. So it will develop a fiscal responsibility because you are involving them in the operational level peoples in the budget processes. So their budget preparation skills will be improved and they would be able to fix the fiscal responsibilities. There is a high degree of acceptance because the people, those are a worker, they are involved in the budget preparations, and it will make a more commitment to accomplish the organizational objectives from whom? From operating level management. Operational level peoples are now involved in the budget processes, so their commitment, their loyalty with the organization will go up, and they are normally more realistic. And what I would like to discuss here, like there is a uh, fictional depiction in the most uh, Bollywood movies, like the hero is saying that I will bring the stars from the sky if I'm my beloved. So to bring the stars from the sky is something fictional. So that is not a realistic. So same thing I am going to discuss here, because they people knows about the actual performance, about the actual strength, weaknesses of the people of the workforce. So the targets they will set, those are realistic. But if there is an imposed budget, in that case your targets may not be realistic, because the person who is sitting in the glass room, he is not capable enough to know what is the actual constraints and strengths of the operational peoples. So participatory budget is more realistic. Now, the disadvantages. It requires too much time. It's time consuming because there is a too much, ultimately, as I discussed with you, that the budget preparation responsibility belongs to the ultimately approval will be given by the strategic levels. There is a too much communication between operational and strategic level people, so it will take a time. It may motivate the operational level managers, to whom? To operational level managers, to introduce budgetary slack. I will discuss later on what is budgetary slack. Okay. It may support empire building by subordinates. Operational level people may become too much stronger, and they may establish their own cartels like they want. They are always going to blackmail the strategic level people that please fulfill our recommendations. Please incorporate in your budget process what we are seeing. We are the people, those are playing a pivotal role. So they may develop there is a possibility that they may develop their own cartels or empire building. So these are the disadvantages. But the most important disadvantage is budgetary slack. So what is budgetary slack? It is inappropriate projection of lower revenues or higher expenses. So operational level people may do that, they will underestimate their revenues for the upcoming time period and will overestimate expenses. Then what is the realistic, what they can do intentionally? Why? To show their performance better. So budgetary slack is considered as an unethical business practice. This is not considered as illegal, but it is considered as unethical when it is intentional. Sometimes you are giving the figures with your good intent, with your positive intent. In that case, it's not a budgetary slack. So if it's unethical, but if you are intentionally giving the wrong figures, lower revenue or higher expenses, to showcase your actual performance better than what you are capable to achieve. So through budgetary slack, if there is a budgetary slack, the organization's human capital is not giving its 100%. So what was the intentions for a budgetary slack? It tends to give the false impression that the eventual performance of the associated business or project has turned out better than planned. So this is to showcase your performance better. You are intentionally underestimating your revenues figures and overestimating the expenses figures. Then when it will be compared with the actual, your variances will be positive. So to showcase your performance better, the people, those are involved at a operational level, are intently doing the budgetary slack. So this is the major demerit of what? Participatory budget. Goal congruence is defined as aligning of goals of two or more groups. As I discussed with you earlier, that if in a budgeting process, individual managers' goals and organizations' goals are same, then there is a goal congruence. So ultimately, the objective of the good budget is there should be a goal congruence. If there is a goal congruence, it means your budget is good. Time frame for budget, as I have discussed, we will talk about master budget, which is also called profit plan, is normally prepared for 1 year, which is usual the same time period, which is the fiscal year of the company. So normally we are preparing the budget. Long-term budgets are separate, but profit plan, or which is called master budget, that is prepared for what? For 1 year, which is normally the fiscal year of the company, and it is subdivided either into quarters or months. So your profit plan can be subdivided into months or quarters. Okay, so this is the time frame for the budget. Principles to develop a good budget. So profit plans, annual budget should be linked with your corporate strategies. Management should assess the future as it pertains to form strategic goals. Sorry for interruption. Form strategic goals and use the budgeting process to minimize the adverse effect that anticipated problems might have on operations. So you have to accomplish your strategic goals, and if you have any adverse thing, you have to incorporate that in your budget. There is a need of support from the management at all levels. It means budget must be acceptable to strategic, operational, and tactical level peoples. There is a proper communication. Even though you have authoritative budget, in that case you have to communicate to your operational and tactical level peoples about the what is the objective of the budget, what you want to achieve by implementing that budget. So communication plays a vital role for the success of the good budget. In that case, the drawbacks which we have discussed, like demotivation or resentment from lower level, that will be overcome by having proper communication, even though you have authoritative budget. It must have to be coordinated. There is a need of coordination with different departments, like we have discussed earlier. Budget should not be rigid. So like we have prepared the budget before the time period, once the actual time period will start, and if you will feel that there is a deviation between actual performance and what you are intended to achieve, in that case there is a need that you must have, your budget should not be rigid. If you want to make the amendments in your budget, you can do that. It should work as being a motivating device. You have to design the procedure that your funds should be strategically allocated to all the departments according to their needs. Managers should be, performance should be evaluated what they have achieved their targets, which we have discussed earlier about when we were talking about the budget's objective. Link cost management efforts. So what is your objective about your cost accounting, like how you costed the things, what you want to achieve from there, that must have to be linked with your budgets. You will use the variance analysis once you will compare your actual performance with your plans for a strategic use to devise your strategy for the future time period. Budget should not be complex, and try to minimize the budget cycle time. So your profit plan should be divided into quarters or monthly budgets. The time period for the budget should reflect the purpose of the budget. So if you are making the master plan, so your purpose should be linked with that 12 months time period. So if it is not rigid, then you can revise it when it is necessary. There should be a need of a regular review throughout the year to compare the actual performance with budgeted. If there is a need to make any change, you should be able to do the change. So regular review is very important. So this was the discussion in our first session. In next session, we will talk about how to prepare master budget. I believe you would like my lecture, so please subscribe my channel and press the icon, bell icon, so you will get the notification about my upcoming lectures. Thank you very much.